I've been in contact with the National Weather Service and seeing what updates they have for us. And it looks like there are a few updates with these severe thunderstorm warnings. Actually, disregard that. That was a little bit further towards our north. But again, we are still tracking this one tornado warning that's going to be in effect for parts of Blue Earth County and then further into LeSueur and Waseca counties at this point. We can continue to look at what we're seeing here. I'm going to switch back over to the other system for a second. And we can see there that we're going to be continuing to watch that moving further out towards that way. And I'll switch this over to our velocity one more time, and we can see where we are really watching those areas of rotation continuing to impact some of our region here. If we switch it over to storm relative velocity, and again, at this point, it is still pretty broad throughout most of our area, but that being said, where we see this red and that green moving so close together like that, that's going to be very indication of those winds changing speeds pretty rapidly there. So it doesn't take a lot for that to spin up something that could be damaging for a lot of us. So at this point, Sean, I'm going to toss it back over to you if you want to continue tracking what we're seeing here with these tornado warnings.
So what we're kind of looking for here, and this is, it's, you know, a lot of times you get thunderstorms that are very well defined. It's one cell, and you can see what we call a hook echo. But this is a different type of storm setup. We have a lot of rain with this, and it's really hard to pick out the individual areas of rotation. But what we're looking for is the red and the green to be up against one another. Of course, we talked about how Doppler radar, this is the mode that detects the wind and the way things are moving, and away from the radar is red, toward the radar is green. But what we're looking for, you see how this little area of brighter red right through here, just south of St. Clair, a little brighter green. We're looking for those areas that would indicate more intense rotation or a tighter area of rotation. And those are the areas where we are most likely to see a tornado. And the difficult thing about a day like today is that you just can't see them out there because this doggone rain is coming down so heavily. Most, if not all, tornadoes that happen today in our area are going to be rain-wrapped. And so that's why we just have to go with the radar, with the data, and kind of keep an eye on things here as they continue to develop. I'm going to take a quick peek down the line here. And again, this warning includes areas south and east of Mankato, St. Clair, Janesville, Elysian, all the way up to Waterville and Montgomery. If you are in these areas, get to a safe place now. The basement, lowest level of your home, interior room, away from windows. Get to your safe place. And that's something you should already have talked about when we had Severe Weather Awareness Week way back when. Emily, what do you got?
One thing I would like to bring your attention to really quickly, if we can switch our system over. There we go. This is a camera in North Mankato. The Department of Transportation has turned this camera so it is facing an area already seeing some flash flooding. As you can see, those cars there were backing up away from that area of water. So again, this is that camera that's located US Highway 169 and Lookout Drive. That camera is turned towards an area with some more intense flooding at this point. Again, you can continue to see those cars moving further away from that area. So very important to remember, flooding can be very, very serious, especially when it is coming this quickly. That flash flood warning is very important to be adhering to and being aware of. And of course, if you do encounter some standing or moving water on a roadway, very, very important to avoid it. You are not going to want to attempt to drive through it in any way. We're going to want to continue to remain safe in that region. And it looks like, Sean, you're continuing to look at a couple of our other views. What are you seeing there?
Well, this is, that's an area that off-ramp from 169 to Lookout Drive that does flood when we get copious rain like we've had. And those numbers continue to jump. We're up to almost 0.3 of an inch of rain here in just the last 5 to 10 minutes. And the rain continues to come down very heavily across all of southern Minnesota, but especially here in the Mankato, North Mankato area. And you can see they do have some police officers blocking. They don't have the lights flashing that says flooded. I don't know what happened there, but there's definitely some flooding going on. Hey, for those of you who are just joining us, I want to recap this whole situation. First of all,
and Sean,
a tornado
it looks like
watch
we
remains.
do have
go
a
ahead.
new. We do have another tornado warning that was just issued for Goodhue, Rice, and Steele counties. It looks like it is a separate storm from the one that we have been tracking. Again, a little bit further out towards our east there. Just wanted to bring that to your attention as well.
All right, way to watch. Yeah, this one is in the Owatonna area. This tornado warning in effect. Let me bring up the deets on this one. Tornado warning for Goodhue, Rice, Steele County till 5:30. This one, Bridgewater, Kenyon, Northfield, Owatonna, all included here. This one's going to be headed north and east, kind of up toward the Kenyon area, locations east of Faribault impacted by this particular storm. And again, the rain situation here is very messy, so it's hard to pick out where this would be. But this right here shows it. See how the colors are brighter right through here and right through here, kind of right in this area right here. That's where the main rotation with this system is, and that's the area that has spawned this particular tornado warning. So possible tornado just east of Medford, northeast of Owatonna. All of this is going to continue. Emily, did you get a speed on this? Move to the northeast here.
I am looking right now. Let me look. So for the Goodhue, Rice, and Steele County storm, it looks like moving northeast at 50 miles an hour, and they did highlight the areas of Kenyon and Nerstrand around 5:05 p.m.
Oh, Nerstrand, that's a beautiful area. The Nerstrand woods are up there. It's a nice area. So here you go. This is a storm tracker for this one. Richland at 4:59, Kenyon 5:05, Cannon Falls by about 5:23. And at that point, it is kind of moving out of our KEYC coverage area and into the Twin Cities or our sister station in Rochester's coverage area. But for folks near Medford, Owatonna, tornado warning is in effect. We have more tornado warnings to talk about for those of you who are just joining us, and these are a little closer to the Mankato, North Mankato area. We have a tornado warning right now. This one, Good Thunder, St. Clair. I'm guessing they're going to let this one go here. I don't really see a whole lot of intense rotation or anything that's terribly concerning to me here. This one, however, tornado warning in effect for this storm. There is some rotation just west of the Janesville area, and this is going to continue to move off to the northeast, kind of moving up toward Elysian and Waterville here over the next little while. And this area kind of moving along here at about 45-ish miles per hour. That's going to put us in Elysian by 4:58, by Waterville at 5:05, and Sakatah Lake State Park by about 5:07. So there is some rotation there. And again, as we've been mentioning, it's just really difficult to see anything that's out there. If you're looking out the window, you're waiting to see the tornado before you duck and cover. Don't do that because it's raining really hard, and it's hard to see these storms, these tornadoes that are wrapped up in all of this rain. The other big concern right now is that we do have, and I think I'm going to turn the radar off for this because there's just so much clutter and stuff going on here. We do have the flash flood warning in effect for parts of Blue Earth, Martin, Nicollet, Watonwan counties until 7:45 p.m. We've been watching the rain tick up. We've had rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 to 3 inches with some of these storms, and so some very heavy rain possible there. And I shouldn't have to say this, but I have to say it because I've even done it myself, and it's stupid, but if you see water on the roads, for the love of Pete, don't try to drive through it. You never know what's under there. The road could be washed away. Next thing you know, you are off the side of the road going down the Minnesota River, and I can't imagine that would be so much fun. So just try to stay off of those flooded roadways because there are going to be a lot of flooded streets and roadways here as we make our way into the next few hours before everything kind of winds down. We still have some warnings to our southeast. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Freeborn County, Albert Lee, also down a little further south toward Forest City and further south into Iowa. The main risk and the main threats with all of these storms, quarter hail and about 60 or so mile per hour wind gusts. This storm for Freeborn, Steele, Waseca County, That's this one right here. That remains in effect until 5 o'clock. Albert Lee, Bancroft, Clarks Grove, New Richland, all still included in that severe thunderstorm warning. It has been, a good chunk of it has been canceled, but still in effect further east, and especially east of Albert Lee here this afternoon, and that will remain in effect until actually 6 p.m. This part of the warning in effect until 6 p.m. for Blooming Prairie, Glenville, and areas east of Albert Lee. Tornado warnings do remain in effect here for parts of Blue Earth County, extending north and northeastward into LeSueur County this afternoon. We have 2 warnings to tell you about, and I'm going to pop our radar back up here for just a second to fill you in on these. This is our first tornado warning that's in effect for Blue Earth County. I need to turn these, just go to one box at a time, but that'll take me a little time to do that. But this tornado warning in effect here for the St. Clair area, that's in effect until 5:15, although that storm seems to be winding down a little bit, Emily. LeSueur and Waseca County until 5:15 p.m. And again, tough to see the rotation in these systems, but there are several areas within each of these little warning boxes where we do have some rotation and the possibility for a tornado to develop. Emily, what do you have?
The only other update I've seen recently is there was a 52-mile-per-hour wind gust recorded just outside of the Owatonna area. So again, that area with that newer tornado warning, definitely a place to watch as far as the damaging winds and the potential for that type of damage, even if that tornado isn't necessarily going to be confirmed in that area. So definitely important, again, to be watching out for that wind and those flooded areas too. I also have seen some reports around the Mankato area of some pretty heavy standing water in a lot of parking lots and places like that, especially places that are a little bit lower than the rest of the roadway. So definitely important to continue to remain aware of those flooded areas and avoiding them if at all possible, like you were mentioning. Sean, I'll toss back to you.
All right, thank you, Emily. Yeah, we're continuing to keep an eye on all of these. I'm going to just back off here real quick for just a second, and for folks who are just joining us, do a quick reboot on everything that we have going on. So we've been talking about severe weather here for the last couple of days. We do have tornado watches in effect for a good chunk of southern Minnesota. These are in effect until 9 o'clock tonight, and they're unusual because the Storm Protection Center has labeled them a very rare kind of special sort of tornado watch, especially for our area, which is a PDS, particularly dangerous situation, which means that our overall environment is very favorable for large damaging tornadoes, and that is still a possibility and will continue to be a possibility as we make our way through most of the upcoming evening here. As we take a quick peek at the radar, we do have a couple of warnings. We're going to get ready just a minute or so from now for the 5 o'clock news, and we're going to do that, but hang on one sec. A real quick recap here of this tornado warning that is in effect for portions of Blue Earth County and LeSueur County. Let me get the details up here on the big screen for you. This one is in effect LeSueur and Waseca County until 5:15 p.m. We have a flash flood warning in effect for parts of Blue Earth, Martin, Nicollet, and Watonwan counties. And we have another tornado warning in effect for parts of Goodhue, Rice counties until 5:30. That one includes the Owatonna area. We are in the middle of severe weather coverage here on KEYC TV Mankato, KMNF-LD in Mankato, and K33MW Mankato. Now that we have all the legal stuff out of the way, it's time for the 5 o'clock news as we continue our severe weather coverage. And I'm Sean Cable.
You're watching KEYC News Now.
Good afternoon and welcome. We are in the middle of severe weather coverage as strong storms continue to make their way across a good chunk of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. I am meteorologist Sean Cable. I have meteorologist Emily Mers working with me in the Weather Center. Daniel Sawicki is here, and I'm sure Stacy's around somewhere. Hi, Stacy. Sorry you have to mess up your newscast to do the severe weather coverage. But we have some tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings and a tornado watch all in effect here as we make our way into the afternoon. So we're going to do a quick update on everything that's going on. And then maybe I'll toss over to you for a second to give folks a quick update on some of the news headlines that we have going on. But there is a lot of stuff that continues to happen here as we make our way through the afternoon. First of all, I want to get to the tornado warnings. We have a tornado warning in effect right here, and I'm going to turn the lightning off because we have a lot of lightning with these storms, but a tornado warning that is in effect for LeSueur and Waseca County. This is until 5:15 p.m. west of Waterville, Janesville, Elysian, potential rotation, possibility of a tornado in that area. The issue, and we've been talking about this for quite a while, is that there is so much doggone rain that you just can't look out your window and see it. It's going to be rain wrapped. So if you are in this tornado warning, get yourself to a safe place here for the next little while until the severe threat has passed. Some of the places right now, Elysian, Janesville, Waterville, Kilkenny area, even all the way up to Montgomery, possibility for a tornado there. We are watching another system, and this one to me looks a little more likely to have the ability to produce a tornado. Right now, kind of north and east of Owatonna, east of Faribault. We have some areas of rotation right kind of through here. And there is the possibility of a tornado there as well. Once again, some very heavy rain. So it is difficult to see exactly where this is if you're just looking outside. So we have to use our live Doppler and our technology there to do that. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect a little further south. This one for portions of Freeborn and Steele County until 6 o'clock, Blooming Prairie and Glenville in that particular warning. Other than that, the only other warning we have right now is this. This is a flash flood warning that is in effect for parts of Blue Earth, Martin, Nicollet, and Watonwan counties for some very heavy rain. This one's in effect until 7:45 p.m. And we have been dealing with some heavy rain here. In fact, at the TV station, we've had about 0.3 of an inch in just the last 15 minutes or so. We've had some incredible rain rates that we have been dealing with here as we've made our way through the afternoon. In fact, you can see we have crews out. There is some flooding. I don't know, do we still have that camera up on Max 2? Emily, can we pop that up, that one at Lookout Drive and 169? There have been some areas where we've had some flooding. Traffic has been a bit of an issue in some of those spots. So we are going to continue to monitor the situation, watch these severe storms here as we make our way through the evening. And the severe threat's going to continue. In fact, I'm just kind of waiting to see if we have that image here. But some very heavy rain, and I will tell you this, if you come across flooded roadways, do not try to drive through it. You never know what's laying around. And yes, Sean,
I did find that camera really quick. It is in our other Max system. There we go. We can see it now. Again, that same area that we were monitoring earlier, we are seeing some water now over parts of the roadways in North Mankato. Again, this is our camera located at U.S. Highway 169 and Lookout Drive. That camera is turned a little bit compared to where we normally see it. But again, you can see that large pool of standing water on the side of the road, and kind of behind where those trees are blocking is where it appears that that rain could be, or that water, excuse me, could be making its way further into the roadway. I know at this time there's still areas blocked off by law enforcement, and even though that rain has started really slowing down in the Mankato area, we are kind of having a little bit of a gap in that heavier rain, but we will be continuing to watch that again as soon as that rain starts back up again. We could continue seeing some areas impacted by that flash flood warning. So definitely important to continue being aware of that water, especially standing or moving water on those roadways. Sean mentioned it a little bit earlier about not to drive through it. Even if it looks shallow, it could be a lot deeper than it appears. So very important to continue to monitor that and really adhering to those flash flood warnings, especially when it comes to people driving in various areas. And that's going to be something we'll continue to track on all of our different cameras and of course, we thank everybody sending in reports of any potential damage or flooding and things like that. And Sean, it looks like at this point too, there was an update that the tornado warning in LeSueur and Waseca counties has been expired or canceled, I should say. But a lot of those severe thunderstorm warnings are going to continue in our area, and of course moving further as that system continues to make its way that way as well. There's also been a little bit of talk of keeping eyes on that line of storms making its way through northern Iowa, kind of over where we were watching the severe thunderstorm warnings earlier. There has been a little bit of talk about keeping an eye on that, but that continues to move a little bit further out of our coverage area. But another thing worth mentioning, that heavier precipitation making its way further towards the northeast through the Mankato area. Right now, not raining super hard out there, especially in North Mankato where our station's located. But as that system keeps moving back in, it's very likely that that flooding could become a little bit more of an issue once again. And Sean, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to go over, or if you were wanting me to toss this over to Stacy now so she can continue with our scheduled show. Sean?
Well, let's talk just a little more. I do want to talk about this particular tornado warning one more time here. We do have a tornado warning that remains in effect for parts of Goodhue and Rice counties. East of Faribault, there may actually be a tornado kind of south and a little east of the Faribault area. If you are in this area, get to a safe place. This could be a dangerous situation that we are dealing with here. And one more time, let me just back off and kind of recap everything that is going on here as we make our way into the afternoon hours. The main line of storms now starting to push its way off to our east. You can kind of see where this line of showers and thunderstorms is located right through here. This is the most intense stuff right now, where the heaviest rain is. The severe thunderstorm warnings are all kind of starting to move to or at least a little east of I-35. That said, we have been dealing with some very heavy rain, and one of our biggest issues right now is this right here. We have this flash flood warning in effect, and that is from Mankato southwest to Truman, almost to areas just north of Fairmont. This flash flood warning is in effect for parts of Blue Earth, Martin, Nicollet, Watonwan County until 7:45. We've had, just look at my little app here that shows me the rain gauge. We've had some incredible rain here in just a short amount of time. In fact, we're at an inch and an inch 81 here at the TV station in North Mankato, and a good chunk of that's fallen in just the last half hour. And so some very heavy rain, some roadways are flooded. There are some issues with flooded roadways and so on and so forth. So keep that in mind. Do not try to drive across flooded roadways. We still have a tornado watch as well that remains in effect here this afternoon until 9 p.m., actually until 9 this evening, although the intense thunderstorms have now started to move a little further off to our east, but that could still change. There's still potential for a few more thunderstorms to develop a little further to the west of that. Again, we are watching these storms. One tornado warning that remains in effect kind of east of Owatonna and Faribault. Flash flood warning for the Mankato area and areas to the south and west. And that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for locations generally east of Elbert Lee. But as far as warnings go at this point, most of them are east of the Mankato area and east of our KEYC News Now coverage area. So things are starting to get a little better for our area, but something we're going to be watching closely here through the rest of the night. We're going to take a little break from the weather coverage. Stacy, I hope you're ready because it's your turn. Time for a little news. Going to send it over to the news desk where Stacy Steinhagen is standing by. Hey, good afternoon, Stacy.
Hi, Sean.